Chris here from Let's Buy Stuff Cheap and Elvis Classic Car Rescue with this 1992 Toyota Celica convertible that was recently bought at a lien sale auction for $250. In this video we're going to be discussing this 1992 Toyota Celica convertible and how you can buy vehicles from the auction, lien sale auctions, and your surrounding tow yards. Hey, if you like what we're doing, please hit the subscribe button down below. The past history, I've been dealing with cars for probably over 20 years. Grew up around cars, and it's kind of sort of like a hobby to go out and try to find stuff cheap, whether it be vehicles, whether it be items, toys, anything that's collectible. We're out there trying to find, collect, and possibly make an extra buck or two in the process. It's something that I enjoy and been doing it for such a long time, and it can help you find stuff that's cheap, even if it's just your day-to-day, going to the store, going to Costco, buying something cheap from there, anything, going to the store, or how to negotiate prices and when to buy stuff. So I thank you very much for your support, and let's move on and buy stuff cheap. One of the things that I do when I go to auctions is pop the hood and take a look at what's going on with the motor. If the motor's complete, it's all there. If there's any telltale signs of damage or anything that will tell me to pass from buying this vehicle. I've been doing it for probably about 20 years and been dealing with cars since I was a kid. My dad collected the old antique cars, and I've had my share of cars that I bought that were basically a bad buy, mechanical problems, rods going through the side of the rods, push rods going through the block of the motor, and various things that I really look for. But one of the basics that I tell you when you're going to be out there and at the auctions, or even buying from somebody in a private party, is basically look at the radiator fluid, check if the radiator has any fluid, water. Telltale signs of a good motor would be that the radiator fluid has water, or it is very green. Very green radiator just looks so beautiful. You also want to check the oil. Also, this oil looks very, very good, yet probably could use a quart. One of the reasons I actually bought this Toyota. One of the reasons I actually bought this Toyota, because Toyota has a reputation of actually building very great cars, well made, very, very dependable. Most Toyota cars can travel up to 300 to 400,000 miles. So what I did, check the oil. You want to check the radiator fluid. You want to check power steering fluid, which this is low. I'm thinking this either might be a low power steering or may have a leak. I also will go to the oil where you put the oil in, and I also will look at the oil, the dispenser where you put the actual oil in, and I will look around the cap to see if there's any forms of residue, metal shavings, or one of the most important things is if you see any residue, milky white substance, you want to kind of steer away from that, because it's probably most likely going to be a blown head gasket. I've been to auctions where actually guys will go in and put film around that to deter on certain cars, but most lien sale tow yards, they have been cracking down on that sort of thing. And then also want to tell sign this is a good car because it's actually a brand new Powertron battery over here, and so that kind of gave me another sign that this car would possibly be a very good car to buy. Yet, one of the signs, it didn't come with a key, and sometimes companies will actually make a key for them, and then this one didn't actually have a key, but for $250, you really can't expect much when you're buying a $250 car. So one of the things that I do is I'll go under the car, and I'll actually look for signs of oil, some oil leaking under the car. So with this car, let's see. So anyways, it's just a basic walk through of this $250 car that was recently bought from a lien sale auction. And one of the things that I do go look at, I walk around the car, look around the car. Just basically do a walk around. Of course, you can see that there is no key meaning they didn't make a key for the car and felt there was no need to actually make a key for this vehicle. But as I chose to buy it, really at times at the auction they'll give you some sort of signs, like this will say where they got it from, kind of where the date they got it from, and also a slash through the key mark that there's no key for the car. So that's one of the things you kind of want to look at. and how much it will cost to actually make a key for the car. Sometimes they can range from $60 to actually $500, depending on the vehicle, or it has a computer code, computer chip. Actually, with my history of knowing these cars, and I know that the ignition switch are pretty simple to fix and actually get a key for. So you actually look at the filth, the way the car was bought, and how I bought it. Just dirty car. But that's what happens when you get a car from the tow auction. And if you have to look past that to get a good deal, you can just look past that. I've actually bought cars, people have actually died in and passed away. And how I know that is because prior, just knowing the vehicles and looking at the vehicle's history, talking to tow yard owners, and just knowing that certain lingering odors they are in the car, just me being around them so much, I kind of know that. But so one of the things to be aware, and you can, if you don't mind a person expiring in a vehicle, you can get really some good deals. I've seen vehicles that have blood splatter all over the place, and those are the vehicles I choose to stay away from, just because of the biohazards. But you can basically get some bio stuff from Target and actually get the smells out within a week or so, and you can just resell the car and make a couple extra bucks, or just drive it around if you don't mind that sort of thing. I mean, people expire every day in houses and people don't mind that. Well, maybe some people do. Anyway, so we're looking at this vehicle, 158,000 miles. Earlier I said it was a little bit more. It's a stick shift manual. This is kind of how I found the car. Actual convertible. I really enjoyed buying this convertible, as you see. But one of the things that really made a mistake was putting another ignition switch in, and I really had a hard time with about 3 hours fixing this, getting this car to have an ignition switch, just so that it will start up. And I kind of knew it was gonna start up just through the Toyota's history. So hopefully my camera work is not too bad. And then here we go. Starts right up. Look at that. 250 motor and trans, awesome. Has a slight power steering. Could add some power steering to it, but that's not a problem. One of the things that I did find in this vehicle was that it's in driving it has some bearings. You can replace some axle bearings in it, which is kind of simple. You just you have a mechanic around, probably get it done for 200 bucks. So actually it drove pretty good. It just had that little, you can tell that it needs the bearings, but it ran pretty good for what it was. So you can tell where the guy was actually drinking inside the vehicle. And the vehicle does have issues with the top, have holes in the top, but for 250 bucks, buy this car all day long. And just how fun this vehicle actually is. And actually you can actually put the top down. Look at this thing. Look at this bad boy here. Look at that. Bad boy. Bad boy. And then rear windows work. Just a good little car. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the top back up and get another shot here. Look at that. 250 bucks. So check this out, $250 Toyota Celica, 4-cylinder convertible. Check this, even the top works. They do now start it up. Oh yeah, fun in the sun in California. Let's go for a ride. Minimal repair, all for 250 bucks. Hey, follow us like what we're doing. Subscribe. Oh yeah, money. It's money. Just driving around. Good carpets. Okay, so one of the things that I had to do is I had to put actually a new ignition switch in there. And if I probably just end up paying a locksmith, auto locksmith, probably would have got it done for 100 bucks. Yet I spent 3.5 hours putting in this ignition switch, and it actually still doesn't even lock in then very well. So that was part of the learning curve of fixing this. But I'll still be able to donate this car or have a car for someone to drive, a good little car, some car that basically can fill up the very dependable motor. So I watched the video on YouTube, and the guy was showing me how to get the ignition switch out, and it didn't quite work. I just see all the debris from the shavings when I was actually drilling the hole. But there's an old adage that tells you you're actually able to start the older Toyotas pre-96 with actually scissors. Shave your scissors down a little bit and you'll be able to actually start them. But I don't recommend that sort of thing. That would be Grand Theft Auto or any of that. But if you're at the auction, it does quite come in handy when you're buying cars legally. And that's what I continue to do. And my cars are basically, once I send them on their way, they're basically just donated or given to family and friends. I have people actually need a car that can't afford a car. Just trying to do right by them, and then it helps me with a little bit of funds to actually go out and find the old classic cars, which I love. Yet, hopefully going to just try to help the folks out there, help you folks make a little extra bucks, find a good car out there. Okay. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. I mean, if you like what we're doing, please hit the button down below and subscribe. And we'll continue to bring you videos once a week about what the latest find is, what the cheap thing to buy, what we found, and how can you find the same items to help you get the best stuff for cheap. Let's buy stuff cheap together. So thank you very much, Chris, from the bottom of my heart. Please continue to watch. Thank you.